Welcome to Surrounded by Sports. I'm Kevin Perkins. This is Ryan Ottensmeyer.
Yes, pleasure to be here. Thank you, Kevin.
I got that right.
Yeah, close enough. Ottensmeyer.
Ottensmeyer.
Very close, but that's why they call me Coach O or Coach Otts. Make it simple, so.
Thank you so much for giving me your time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for doing what you do.
I have these philosophies on, because, I'm a Hops. First of all, we're filming from Sideline Sports Bar. I have these philosophies about what they do at Gulf Breeze, and it started when I started noticing the volley, because we're a hop, skip, and a jump away.
Oh, yeah.
And the volleyball program, and the way it's probably the best volleyball program in the history of man.
Oh,
right?
yeah, 100%. They're
national
gotta
titles,
be
state
top,
titles,
yeah,
everything.
top in the country with what they do.
Right. And soccer, similar.
Yep.
And I felt like with you, they kind of went into the same scenario, and I want to go through some of that and see if I'm close.
Yeah, I hope we're following them. That means we're doing something good.
Right, and I feel like he's trying to do that as well. Alt's trying to do that as well with the hiring of Harris, taking the guy out of the community.
Yeah, of course.
And I want to try to go through some of that with you. I want to go through this new team.
Yeah.
You have, and it literally is a new team. In
Oh,
some
100%.
ways.
Yes.
And I want to talk about, how you wound up getting into the position you're in, and the whole purpose of what we do, what I'm trying to do, is one, to get people to invest in their communities through the youth. Two, to bring a communal value to, because I believe there's a communal value in sports.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And also to remind people of the purpose of playing sports in the first place. Bumps in the road. Well, how did you deal with? You call timeout. A bump in the road, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And then you draw up a play and you move forward. That's what you do in life.
Yeah, definitely.
Things go wrong, you call timeout, you drop a play, you go forward.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk a little bit about that as well as we go through this, and maybe try to have a little bit of fun. When did you grow up? Were you a '90s kid?
Actually, I'm a little bit older than most people give me credit for. So I was born in '82, and I moved to Gulf Breeze in '92.
Okay.
And so then never left. I love it here. And so I got family all over the country, and they were here, moved away, and I was like, yeah, I'm good here. I'm home.
Okay. So you moisturize.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So I don't know what it is. I guess good genes. I got
Good
lucky.
for you, man. Good for you. Yeah. So what I do want to talk a little bit, hopefully we can get to it, about who you liked growing up as a player and all that too towards the end as we wrap it up. We're going to do all that and more after this.
You are watching Surrounded by Sports, the podcast hosted by Kevin Perkins. This show emphasizes how sports and life intersect while showcasing the Gulf Coast. And now, Surrounded by Sports.
Welcome back, folks. Thank you very much to Faust Builders, McCory Homes, Sideline Sports Bar and Grill for allowing me to chase knowledge wherever I can find it. Today I'm going to find it with Ryan Ottensmeyer. Did I get it right that time? I was close again.
It's close enough.
We're going to go Coach O the rest of the day. I'm
yes.
not striking out again. Okay, so you grew up, you bounced around. You said you were
Yeah, my dad was in the newspaper business and worked for Gannett, and so he bounced around a lot. We were Seattle, Buffalo, New York, Philadelphia, and St. Louis, and then we came to Gulf Breeze, and he worked at the Pensacola News-Journal in the 90s, and then retired, and I never left after that.
Tell me, I'm sorry that I don't know this. Was he a sports writer or?
He wasn't. He was a finance guy.
Okay.
So he was, I guess, equivalent to, there was the publisher, and then he was the second guy in charge. It's, I guess, equivalent to CFO. I forget the technical position name.
Okay.
So, but he handled all the numbers and kind of oversaw the marketing and everything but the actual writing.
Okay, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because you don't think about, now we all think about news as a business. Right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
It's turned into that, and that'd be a fascinating conversation. That has nothing to do with sports with your dad at some point, right? But anyway, okay. So you get to Gulf Breeze, and you played all sports, or?
Yeah, starting in middle school, I played baseball and basketball in middle school, and then in high school I played baseball, basketball, and football.
Okay. I think DJ. I talked to DJ last night. He
Yep.
was the center. You were shooting guard.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we played together
You guys
for a
all
long
keep
time.
in touch. That group.
We do. It's kind of unique. I've got about 8, 9 buddies that we get together every couple of years. A few of them live here, so I see them, bi-weekly when our schedules align. But that sports concept that you talk about with building relationships and how it translates to life, I've been lucky enough to all of my best friends throughout my entire life from in Gulf Breeze, I played sports with. I either played basketball with them, basketball and baseball, football and baseball, and so we keep in touch with each other and go on family trips. And now they've got kids that are graduating that I've coached, and so it's kind of come full circle. It's really cool.
That's got to be fascinating too, right? To have, the guy you were in the 10th grade with, now you're coaching this kid at the high school level, and that could probably be dicey too.
It can, but it's been good. We've my friend DJ, his son Trip, played basketball for me for 2 years, and then now he's excelling at football and at Catholic, and they've got their game Friday, and so it's been cool to watch them grow and help be a part of that a little bit more than just a friend of the family.
You're very entrenched in your community.
I think so. I like to hope so.
Right, well, I mean, this thing. Okay, you start out because you don't start at. What did you do after college? UW. You
So,
went to UWF. What did you do
I
after college?
went to UWF and then got my degree in sports management and was a rec supervisor at the community center and was there for 8.5 years and kind of grew to grow the whole show. So all helped out with all the GBSA stuff, helped out with the expansion of the rec center and was part of that with the director Ron Pulley, and he really brought me in and mentored me in terms of like how to build the community and provide avenues for activities for people of all ages realistically.
Right. And that does that help in being a head coach of a basketball program, because there is finance involved?
Oh yes, 100%. The ability that the rec center gave me to manage funds, really build a zero-based budget year after year, because that's something that I try to do. Is the money that we raise goes to the program now. I try not to sit on a whole bunch of money, and that's kind of how the city operates. Is they have their annual budget, and this is what we need to spend. So what can we do with the money that we've got? And if we don't have, we've got ideas that we can't fund, how can we fund those ideas? And that's just how it goes in sports, and dealing with parents, dealing with players, dealing with organizations, FHSAA to Dizzy Dean baseball, and all of that kind of ties it all in for me.
Tell me, because does having to have a zero-based budget, does that help keep away theft?
I guess, yeah. When you
I mean,
spend
it might have been a problem with your crew, but that's where my mind went.
Exactly. There's, people have gotten in trouble before, around the area and around the country in sports. And if you don't have any money, it's because you buy all the gear and you buy all the the shooting machines and everything that you need for the kids, and you return that money to them. Then you don't have to worry about that because you don't have enough to take.
There's no temptation.
Exactly.
Right. And part of a life is knowing your limitations.
Yes.
Right. Not yours in particular, but so let's move into, how did you wind up at Gulf Breeze as an assistant?
So I ran at the rec center. We've got the Sharks program, which is the middle school travel program where we go into Pensacola and we'll go to little tournaments. And when I played, umpteen years ago, we called it Junior Pro, and we did a lot of traveling. And so a few dads here and there kind of kept that alive while I was in college. And then when I got the job at the rec center, I really wanted to bring it back to the community to help have that feeder program for the high school and kind of gauge how the high school operated and what are the values of the high school program. And so I helped start the Sharks with Ron and the city of Gulf Breeze.
Which is the feeder program for Gulf Breeze.
And so I started coaching.
Dolphins, if you don't.
Yeah. So I started coaching the 8th grade team for probably 8 or 9 years, and then the job opened up at the high school, and I threw my hat in the ring with very little experience and met Jared Denman, and we got talking and hit it off, and so he hired me to be the assistant coach for him. And we got along great. Our philosophies were a lot alike in terms of how we wanted to play, the vision of the program moving forward. And I was lucky enough to learn under him for a couple of years, and he really allowed me to learn what nobody sees, the finance stuff, the budgeting stuff, the administration stuff. He really allowed me to kind of, handle that for us. And so I learned how that operated, and then also he helped me become, the coach that I am.
And he did prep you for the job at Gulf Breeze, which you got in 2017.
Yes, and in 2017 we kind of hit the ground running and used a lot of the philosophies that he had and the visions that we had together, that we, many meetings of what the direction of the program wanted to go, and I really tried to take it off. And we had the kids buy into the program early. We really tried to put together an exciting brand of basketball.
Right.
I feel like Gulf Breeze isn't really known for fast pace or high scoring, and so that was one of the points that we took off with. And then having players like Chance Napier and Cole and Carter Shepard, Cole Pascal, and then that leads into Tyler Walkup, and then you get into the Reese Bloomberg, Carson Hepworth, Dominic Jackson. Those guys really set that foundation and the foundation of what is expected in the program. And then, that leads into Roman Jackson and Hudson Rowe and Max Schneid and Jack Banks and Colin Slatton, who really elevated it. And that's something that we challenged those guys with, is we've started to have a little success at Gulf Breeze basketball, and how do we take it to the next level? And those guys stepped up to every challenge that we've had.
Okay, would you consider yourself an offensive coach or a defensive coach?
Oh, I'm much more of an offensive coach than a defensive coach.
Do you tend to hire somebody that's a defensive coach to help you?
I try to, yes.
Okay.
And that's something that I've been lucky enough with the coaching staff that I've had when we've had that success, is we all have our little specialties. And I hired Coach Aerosmith and Coach Cobb. They came over, Coach Green, who does football, and they all bring a little bit to the table, and blending our coaching styles, blending our philosophies. I think the kids loved it and bought into it, and we took off running.
Right. I've gotten to watch your teams play over the years, some with Johnny Mays' company, Marketable Sports, and then also, recently, and then I like to watch basketball anyway, and I love the way your teams play. What would you say like your offensive philosophy kind of, because you guys move the ball, you look for the best shot.
Yeah, it's.
But I watched them play last night, and it was, I know you had some trouble early in the year, but it was magical the way the ball was getting to the open man and layups and open looks and knocking down threes. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's as simple as the team. The team comes first. We look for great shots. We look for the next shot. We talk to them all the time about, we would rather have 5 to 8 guys score 10 points than one guy score 25 points.
Right.
And that's how we win, is by making that extra pass. And so that offensive philosophy that we've got, it boils down to as simply as the team. And that's where no one person is bigger or better than the team as a whole. And when you buy into that, you get your open looks and you get the best shot that you can take, and it's paid off for us because we've had some excellent shooters. We've had guys that can attack the rim. We've got a few post guys throughout the couple of years. We're pretty more of a guard heavy program, but we've had some guys that have stepped in and brought those pieces. I call it the machine, because you got to have every working part to have that machine run smooth. It's
probably smart to be guard heavy because Gulf Breeze is not a huge place.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the one thing about the Panhandle, right, is all the schools, none of them are really huge feeders.
Yep.
Milton's kind of, they're doing well right now. They're fantastic.
They're amazing. Yeah.
But to have a guy that's 6'7" is not likely.
No, it is definitely not the norm here.
Right.
So that guard heavy and being able to shoot the ball is hugely important when we play out of area teams or when we make those, those few runs in the playoffs and trying to go up against the Jacksonville or the South Florida teams.
Right.
We've got to be able to match our team play with great shooting, solid defense to counteract the 6'7s to 6'10s.
Right. It does look like, though, you have several guys 6'2", 3', 4-ish.
Yes.
On this particular club that's young. But I noticed last night you had maybe 4 to 5 guys comfortable of flashing into the post.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
you space very well. At least when it's
Yeah.
working, you space
Yes.
very well, right? And that's what. How much do you work on being, you see a guy and you're like, well, he might not think he can go to the post because he's not huge, but you tell him get down there anyway. How's that?
Oh yeah, we when we practice everybody at every position. We really kind of focus
positionless
on
basketball.
Yes,
right.
positionless basketball, because you may have a matchup that's unforeseen, and if your natural point guard doesn't have any skills finishing around the rim or being able to play with his back to the basket, you're taking away opportunities to attack the weaknesses of the other team, and that's something we've got to build upon because we don't have the 6'8s.
Yeah, I saw 3 different guys with, it wasn't quite George Mikan drills, but I saw 3 different guys with really neat footwork near the basket last night, and it kind of, you don't always see that.
Yeah, and it's a credit to the coaches and a credit to the kids to work on that and buy in, because with today's game everybody wants to shoot the 3 ball, and so that's all they work on. And so we're very strategic in our practices on making sure that all of our guys have the skills in their area and then try to excel in their specialty.
And that goes back to the Sharks.
Oh, 100%, yes.
The feeder program, that you're getting middle schoolers that aren't throwing it up there from their hip because they started shooting like Steph Curry.
Exactly.
At 9,
yeah,
right?
We've got a good relationship with the Sharks program, and even the Panhandle Prospects now, a couple of organizations in Pensacola have really stepped up and brought it over the Titans, yes. And so we've talked to them here and there and been able to help mold our guys into allowing them to really grow in all positions and in all aspects and all game types, because you have your slow down, methodical offenses, you have your one-on-ones, you have your set plays or your actions that you run to where it focuses on maybe 1 or 2 guys, and then the other guys, are more role players that just kind of stand in the corner, or okay, I'm a facilitator on offense as a point guard, and that's all I do. And we try to stay away from that as much as possible. We try to get guys that can facilitate, that aren't normal facilitators, guys who can, shoot the ball. We're real free and real positive with the building confidence in shooters. So most guys that are centers don't get to shoot the 3 ball.
Right.
Well, if you're open and you're in rhythm, let it fly.
Right. Right. Now, defensively, what is your? Because when you bring somebody in to coach a defense and help with the defense, you have a philosophy. You know what you want.
Oh yeah,
you played a lot of basketball. You've coached a lot of basketball. What I noticed you full court press last night.
Yep.
A lot of man.
Oh yeah, lots of man, and we sprinkle in zone, and so really,
which is wonderful, by the way, being multiple.
Yes, and that's where we build on
in basketball
defensively.
And life, by the way.
That's where we build our defenses based around is being able to adapt to what we've got to do based on the other team, whether it's man, whether it's zone. And our philosophy, Coach Aerosmith brought the verbiage to it of the guard value board. And
who's at Navarre?
Yeah, and he's at Navarre, and it's a great little saying, and so we kind of adopted it from him. But it's always been in the principle. We just never really had the terminology for it.
Right.
And so, we play heavy help defense. We don't have the quickest kids on the court with that first step, and so.
A lot of traps.
Yeah, a little bit of trapping, but it's more helping the helper.
Right.
So if our guy gets beat, we move as one defensively to get the rotation down to make sure that we can stop the guys, whether it's attacking the goal or running them off the line, knowing they're good shooters, so that we've got help built in.
Right.
And so it's based on communication, guarding the ball, and then helping the helper.
So I think this is a weird place to go into it, but the way you guys play, okay, I feel like basketball is such a great all sports in their own ways are good at teaching you about life, right? But what you're talking about, it's generosity.
Yes, 100%.
Moving the ball, everybody being able to go into the post, everybody kind of having a similar skill set and making sure that the person, that it doesn't matter who has the advantage, finding who has the advantage.
Yes.
Right?
Selfishness.
And defensively too.
Yeah.
Right? Because defense, people don't think about defense as being an unselfish thing, right? Because you're trying to shut your guy down. But there's communication, there's helping your guy out, there's all that stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's the foundation of what we do is that unselfishness.
And that's life. That helps you through life.
Yeah, ability to sacrifice for somebody else's gain, but realistically, it's the gain of the team. Because if one guy gets 5 to 8 steals, the team gets the 5 to 8 steals.
Right.
And if one guy has a couple blocks, if one guy, those individual stats are team stats first. And so when you can get guys to buy into, they're not their stats, they're our stats, it changes the mindset of the player to know that I don't have to get mine because it's mine, because we don't have a mine in our team.
Right.
We have we have, the team, and that's where it boils down to that simple fact of putting the team first.
Maximizing yourself inside of a team.
100%.
Right. Inside of a collective. So you lost a couple early on. You played Milton. We talked about how fantastic they are right now.
Oh yeah.
And you played a really good team out of Alabama that I think still undefeated.
Yeah, Sarah Land's, I think they're 8-0 now, and they've got L.J. Williams, who's the #1 rated sophomore player in Alabama. He's 6'8", he was amazing to play. And so the 2 games, looking at the record of 1 and 2, we haven't done that in a long time, but the teams that we lost to are playoff and state championship caliber teams.
Right.
And so really being able to gauge what we need to work on, who we need to, what players we need to develop in certain situations, and how that team works is something that I was, not mad at as a coach, because you always want to win, but we learned a lot about ourselves in the first 2 games of the season versus playing a lower caliber team and winning, but it was easy.
Right.
And so then the flow, we haven't challenged ourselves yet, and then you get into your district play, you get into January and February, to where if you are not battle tested, it's going to bite you.
Right. And also there's something to be said for, okay, you got what, 2 to 3 seniors?
We have 3 seniors, yes.
Okay, and 7 juniors.
Yep.
And then,
2 sophomores.
2 sophomores, right? But for this, there's something to be said for galvanizing the troops and saying, hey, yeah, it stinks, we're on 2, but we're not a finished product.
Exactly.
Because in life, you're never a finished product.
No, you got to grow, and hitting that adversity that you do in life, hitting that adversity that you do in sports, is something that we take to heart in terms of being able to continually grow throughout the season, because you don't want to play your best basketball until February.
Right. Now tell me this, I know you're excited about this team. I've heard you talk about them on the Fox Sports 1.
Yes.
And I love those guys. They're fantastic. But I know you're excited about this ball club and the potential. You will talk about these guys a little bit and what they all bring to the table?
Yeah, definitely. It goes back to, they all have a unique skill set, but they're very unselfish. And we've got guys that are good ball handlers and good facilitators. We've got guys that are phenomenal shooters. We've got guys that are great post players and can touch, finish around the rim and have that soft touch. And so being able to have guys that can do little things really well, and then getting them to do it together, because we've got, the last night against Lakeview, thank you. There was 4.8 seconds left, and we called a little play for Brennan Hill, and he drove the length of the floor and made a layup in under 4.8 seconds. And his skill set of being able to, just the motor of the team and how fast he can get up and down the floor is incredible for us. when we're in those situations. And then you've got Michael Bailey and Parker Boyd who shoot at a high percentage, and we rely on them to hit those three-pointers and expand that defense. Carter Calloway can shoot it a little bit as well, but he also can attack the rim great. He's 6'3"-ish and can finish around the rim excellent. And so being able to have your drivers, DJ Banks can get to the paint, land jump stop,
He's
then
really good.
Yeah, find that guy that's open, or the leave pass.
That's what I thought too, how quickly you guys move the ball.
Yeah.
There's no dribbling.
Yeah, the
If
more
you're dribbling,
you
you're
dribble,
going to the
yes,
basket, right?
You have to dribble with a purpose in our program.
Right.
And and then we've got Spencer Smith, who is an incredible athlete. I mean, him on a volleyball court is just second to none.
He's number 24, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a grown man.
Oh yeah, he is massive.
And one of the top volleyball players
in the nation.
Yeah.
He actually went to
It has a
Qatar.
good free throw.
Yeah, and it's a good shot.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Whenever he goes and practices volleyball and then comes to the gym to shoot, you can always tell his shot is off because of the difference in the form of shooting a basketball and hitting a basketball. yeah, definitely. So it's funny.
But that's great that he gets to do that.
Yes, and that's something else that we support our kids playing multiple sports.
Right.
We try to give them that overall high school experience of playing everything that you can.
And grades.
Oh yeah, of course. And we're real fortunate enough. We have brilliant kids that we don't really have to put a whole lot of emphasis on how important grades are, because they hold themselves to that standard. And
You feel like you're in a special place.
oh, I do. It can't be beat, and it's the community as a whole. It's the parents that we deal with and how they raise their children, how they trust us to be able to build, that team aspect, and that being able to like teamwork, and it transfers into the job in the workplace when you've got to work with people and handle adversity. And so we're real fortunate with, they've got good grades, they're good kids, they get along with each other, and especially this group from top to bottom. I mean, except in our two sophomores, Bobby and James, and how they play. Bobby had, I think, 16 points last night, and we fed him in the paint, and that's something that we haven't had the last couple of years. We've had Elliott and Clark, who were very good at what they did, but they weren't true post-up players.
Right.
So having our seniors and having those juniors that haven't played with guys that have the footwork and the skill work underneath the goal, to trust them we need to get the ball to Bobby, we need to feed the ball to James, we need to, get the ball down to Spencer and let them attack from, within, is something that speaks to how special this group is in particular, and why we're so excited for this season.
Right.
Even though we hit a few bumps to start, but like I said, they're great teams, and you go up against a great team, and you either win or you learn from it. And we've learned a lot in the last week and a half of our team and our guys, and we're excited.
All right, let's break on that. I will come back. I'm going to ask you just two questions as we wrap this thing about, what you liked growing up watching, and then maybe who you like watching play now, outside of the high school realm, or maybe in the high school realm.
For sure,
right?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll be back after this. Thank you for watching Surrounded by Sports content. This content is sponsored by McCory Homes, Faust Builders, and Sideline Sports Bar and Restaurant on beautiful Pensacola Beach. Follow all of our content on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and X. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and find out how sports and life intersect with a focus on the Panhandle. Now, back to Surrounded by Sports. And then, welcome back, folks. I'm here with Coach O. See, I didn't mess it up. All right. Okay, so tell me this. So I'm thinking 92-ish, 94-ish, you're
10, 11. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So are you, like, basketball a little different back then?
Oh, way different.
Who were some of your guys you liked when you were a teen?
So
Jordan.
Well, of course, he is the GOAT, and we have many arguments about that with our players these days. But nonetheless, like, I was always more of a fan of the college game than I was the NBA.
Right.
So I liked a few NBA players. Penny Hardaway was one that was top notch. Tracy McGrady, I love the way that they played the game.
Right.
But the passion that I have for basketball comes from the college game.
Right. Now is that like North Carolina, Duke?
Oh yeah, Duke.
So your teams remind me of Duke teams a little.
That's good. That means I'm doing something right in my mind.
Right.
So the first games, the first season that I really bought in and really started loving basketball was the 91-92 when Duke played the Fad Five or the Fad Four.
And on the way they played Kentucky, had the link to the court pass from Grant Hill to
Christian
Leitner.
Leitner and Grant Hill. And so those are my roots. I mean, Leitner, Hurley, Grant Hill, all of those guys. And then Coach Krzyzewski I read a lot of his books. I've listened to thousands
Gold
and thousands,
standard,
thousands of hours of clips. And you know, it's kind of amazing the technology we have these days, because now I don't have to read a whole book. I can just watch little snippets of it. And
do you audiobook?
I do.
Yeah,
yes,
it's
yes.
good. It's
and so that's where I've really I credited how my coaching style is him and Roy Williams and Tom Izzo and Jay Wright and all of those guys, and how they play that team game first versus, you know, the one-on-ones, or you've got the one great player and so we're going to run everything through him. We've always tried to balance the carrying the team and helping us out, because we can all carry more than just one individual. And so, you know, JJ Redick was always one of my favorites, just because he nonstop and could shoot. And you know, as a shooting guard myself, I love the three ball. So though he was one of the best ever at it, and even going to, you know, Austin Reeves and I mean Rivers, Austin Rivers, and watching those guys play is something. Trajan Langdon from Alaska was on those teams.
Right, he can flip it.
Yeah, so that's where I get my love for the game, is watching those guys play and being able to beat really talented, really good teams, but doing it together versus having one guy that can just take over a game.
Okay, funny thing, I hate Duke.
Good. That means they're good.
I have this disease. It's called great hate.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, so I'm a Knicks fan. I grew up a Knicks fan.
Oh, so you've struggled.
Family's from like upstate New York, right? And so I always hated Jordan.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah,
you know, I think Kobe was great. I hated him because why wouldn't you hate somebody that's great? You know,
exactly.
I hate perfection. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. But so. I always hated Duke because my whole family went to Florida State, so I always hated Duke because, you know, but it was funny because those matchups were always weird because Hamilton's team could take away things because of the way they kind of hounded on defense. And this is weird, but when y'all played, Tate always reminded me a little bit of Hamilton's team.
Oh yeah, physical and oh yeah.
Right, and y'all kind of play the Duke way. So when we would go watch y'all play, I always kind of enjoyed that because what you do and what Clyde do is but what you both do so well, I think we'll wrap on this, what you both do so well, Clyde Abney, is you maximize your players.
Yeah.
Right? Like he takes kids that and just says, work as hard as you can, defend the length of the floor all the time.
Yep.
Right? And don't give an inch.
Yeah.
And you take kids and you kind of do the same thing, but you also teach other aspects too, because everybody's a little different.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I mean, Clyde's done an amazing job with Tate, and we have amazing basketball games. I mean, they're battles and it's physical. I mean, we have a drill in practice called the Tate drill,
right?
Because to prepare our guys of how Tate is going to play and how we have to run our style of basketball, but be able to handle their style of basketball. And sometimes we get the win, sometimes they get the win. We've gone back and forth for years, and it's just a great matchup. Well,
and that's the thing too, right? Is you're going to deal with situations where you feel like, not physically, but you feel like you're getting pushed around.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yes.
And how do you adjust to that?
Yep.
And you say, okay, here's the counter.
Yeah.
And as we go through life, we have to have a counter.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah. If they do one thing, we've got to have our option one. If they take it away, you got to have option two and option three built in. And that's something that our guys have great basketball IQ and you know, the challenge that physicality brings, especially when it's full court, because they can speed you up and make you make bad passes and turn the ball over, which it just eats at you as a player when you do that, and you can't let that affect when you have to take that shot or when you have to make that next pass, or on the defensive side of things. You have to play in the moment so well against those guys, because if you let what just happened affect the next play, it's going to domino effect, and now you're at a 10 or 12 point deficit, and now you're scraping, clawing and fighting and scratching to get back in the game.
I always say you never know what moment matters.
Oh yeah.
Like when you're talking to a kid that's frustrated, whatever, right? You don't know what if that moment you say something to them, you forget about it, and 10 years later they come up to you and say, "Hey man, that mattered to me."
Oh yeah.
And in sports, right? Like you said, this moment could matter if you let it get to you.
Exactly.
Or that moment might not matter at all if you get to have another one.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for giving me your time. Folks, this is Coach O. I'm Kevin Perkins, Surrounded by Sports, Sideline Sports Bar. Thank you, Faust Builders, McCory Homes, for allowing me to chase knowledge wherever I can find it. And thank you for sharing your knowledge with me, Ryan.
Yes, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Set a pick for somebody out there.
I love it.